Apologies. I know it lops off when I come in here and check the network. Okay. So yeah, it didn't appear to be signed in until I got into that screen. So let's just see if that makes a difference to how it populates the screen here. Until that screen populates properly, that I might not be able to host a game for anybody. Might not be findable. Right. Just letting it generate some numbers. Get my NAT type on my PlayStation Network. Just force it to re-handshake. I use a mobile phone as my network at the moment, probably a property with fibre to the premises. Mind you, none of the telcos really charge it in a cost-effective way, so most people just get through their mobile phones. I've been using the fibre to the premise for a large part living here, but just trying to see what you can do on 5G. It's a phone network, and so I usually keep my phone in 3G mode. And it moves data nowadays so slow that it's actually useless. All the phone home software can't actually phone home in the time frame it takes on my 3G nowadays. Possibly because there's just so much stuff going on in the background in your phones that I mean 3G used to move a lot of data, but apparently it doesn't move enough anymore. But yeah, so then I put my phone in 4G mode if I actually need to view some web pages or something. But when I want to do multiplayer gaming or upload a video to the Chewy U, I'll put it in 5G mode. Really hammer it, really push it hard. Right, so right, so that populated really quickly, the way it should. So I don't know whether that's preventative maintenance. They say prior preparation prevents poor performance, or just poor performance. Yeah, it's a psych teacher. But gonna check we lost items. Alright. Yeah. It's a bit full, really. I should probably do some maintenance, set a few things off that aren't needed. Looks really good. Oh, everything's looking really good. Look out here, does everything look really good? Oh, I've hit that stage in the game where I'm probably going to have to start doing some maintenance. Okay, now's as good a time as any, I suppose. I had wanted to get straight to an MP match, but I figured it takes about 10 minutes from the time that I start the game to it before people turn up. So at the moment there's nobody here. Might as well mute myself until somebody turns up, I suppose. Alright, so that's good. Gives me a few moments to do my inventory from the day before, arguably. Okay, so that's I'm going to say that's kind of capable, but I'm actually wearing a better helmet anyway. I'll sell that. I'll keep that one. Damage. I can't lock on the screen, it's a shame. To the 7, that's a lot, isn't it? That's still good. So I can sell that, sell that. There's a couple of things I can sell. Space buckler, it's kind of cool. Damage. Sorry, I'm kind of talking to myself. Typical veterinary management stuff, I suppose. That helps me clean things up a little bit. That's arguably alright. Space buckler. I have space. Yeah, I do feel arguably this one is for the plus 6% better chance of getting magic items from crystals. This one might do a bit more damage. Oh. I kind of like here how the hand that you equip it is the hand that kind of gets it. Good. That one is substantially better. I'm not sure why this one raises my armor class higher. Oh, okay, so that's technically a shield. That's not a shield. Right. Got it. Assassin's hairpin, got myself a fairly decent sword on the back. What's a luxury sword? Okay. Alright. What's it sell? Some to keep, once I'll go over to the stash and start selling stuff from there. Again, I've got time up my sleeve in inventory management time. Yeah, I think they're already locked. Yep. So if I come over here. don't mind having a B setup. That's such a great weapon. Regular katana, nothing happening with it. Can go. I'm going to use it. Alright, that one and that one. That's actually, I like using that sword. I'll leave it for a B setup. That one, and that one. I'm keeping. Oh, hang on. Let me do that again. Right. Just lock them here. That one. I think that was the one I wanted. No, the trident. That was the one I wanted. Right. That for throwing. Yeah, okay. Sword. Can be sold. There. Oh, I think I'm hearing some footsteps. Footsteps are just a sound behind me, but thought for a second there might have been. Okay, so no one's found the game yet. And by found the game, I think everybody's going to need to play. So yesterday, during the middle of a work day, I was able to throw a game up. Within probably 10-15 minutes of play, people started to join, so I thought that was pretty awesome. In such a small amount of time to pick players up. Possibly because I was a level 1 character, or a super low level character. This character would be continuing on from that session, and I'm already level 14. Yeah, so I probably should have started a new character, actually, just to have other people find an equals sort of a game. I haven't gone through these ones. Oh my god. That one. Ah. That does damage. That's all that matters. This dagger. Nothing super special, but handy to have it. Rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Alright, you're not good enough to make the cut, buddy. Sadly. Oh, I should have kept it. I like a blunt weapon, to be honest. Dial, which I've now got none. None. Oh, hang on. interesting character. I mean, I could almost go on a goblin raid. I don't know how people find you. If I throw a portal down at the entrance, I suppose that'll do it. Trying to practice kind of walking and flicking. Yes, treasure is treasure. All adds up. It was a trophy for, I don't know, Gambler King or something. It's like gamble 50,000 coin. So I want to earn 50,000 coin just to waste. But I've never been into collecting trophies. Never. Oh, Killzone Mercenary. I think I platinumed out that game totally. I loved it. That was a better game. It was just a good time in history for me to put lots of hours into a game that was designed to be replayable. Get my sword back. So he deflected it. I love it. Reasonable physics force. I really feel with this patch that we've got today that the throwing physics are absolutely improved. I've been building characters with 3 little throwing knives in my quick slots and not using it because the throwing physics has been, for me, fairly inconsistent. Now I do turn the light off above me, but I just found today all the throws, since the patch this morning, all the throws have been spot on good. Yeah, these guys now do this berserky chargy yuppie thing. And I came down here with a low level character, like less than a few levels, and they were doing that, and they were stuffing up in their fight. And there was lots of little AI things going on, like them getting really scared and running away. Bastards. Yeah, they're good, so he ran away. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly, and I know he's still coming at me. Yeah, get my bearings. We need deflector too. Yeah. Very fun game. Oh, I should put a portal down so people can find me. The off chance that multiplayer kicks in, which I think it's likely to do inside of an hour. Probably not what I'm after, but I'll just quickly check there. There should still be nothing. Put my voice up just so that, oh no, I guess not. I'm talking to the audience at home. Right, so should be that corner. kit. They're slowly wearing me down. I'm probably about a fifth of a health bar left. Yeah, so when they're getting ready for combat, they do this nice little yellow charge up off the ground. Oh, so he's running away. Good stuff. Yeah, he dodged that first bolt. Alright, so I was about to get my sword out and go toe to toe with him. Yeah, it just feels a better game today. It feels so much smoother with the world. That almost like a veil's been lifted off the graphics on everything. The lighting radius seems to be a little bit further. And yeah, I don't know. As updates go, it's certainly not a bad one. I haven't reduced any draw distances or anything to make it perform a little bit less. Alright, so I'll just finish off the loop in this zone so there's no big bads for anyone to worry about if a multiplayer game was to happen. I'm still very much at full mana. I don't ever seem to find myself running out of mana. That being said, I don't have a character that does a lot of damage per bolt. Just more so that I level up as a mage. Lots of them. I mean, every game has a different system. This game might count the number of mana points that you've actually cast and have been using spells that were effective. Yeah. You know, every game's a bit different. Well, most games try to come up with their own ways to create balance and a fair system. Not give the player agency, but without letting them just make their character into a superhero just by standing at a wall and doing nothing. First, I think Oblivion had a whole bunch of stuff with athletics as a secondary skill. You could just jump around. It was a good way to kind of level your character in a way that got you possibly more points for some skills, some attributes. Sorry. All right. Oh, I'll have that. Right. So a lot of people identify the quick way to put an item like this in your inventory is just drop it, and then as it's dropping, put down on the joystick. It'll come up, and it seems like the time that you can grab it by pulling down on the joystick, I feel like that window is widened, even if it's only by 0.2 of a second or something very small. It feels like it's a little bit easier to use. So I do like that. Now I thought I'd cast a portal spell. I don't know what I did that stopped my portal spell from working. I would have been disappointed to have passed on to have lost that. I'll get back here so quickly. Now it's not hard for me to get back here, to be fair. I was going to say, I don't even feel I've cleared out. So, I mean, on one occasion I think I did. The strength of that power attack is such that interrupting it seems a bit harder. The bolts weren't interrupting his animation on that. If he hadn't been ready to go down on that last bolt, I think that blow would have landed about a third of a health bar. It's a nice vibration feeling through the controls. Sense of immersion. And that's one of the cool things about this format of gaming, is the notion of being able to, you know, in your shooter games, firing around corners because you went around the corner. Stuff like that. You know, firing over steps by putting your hands up in the air. But yeah, my mana bar is down by about the same amount my health bar is up. So I think I've taken maybe 1 point into an attribute which my mana comes back over time. But I have found with quite a few of my characters that early level equipment gives me more mana back when I kill an enemy or a range of conditions. And it sort of ends up with games where I feel I can cast unlimited and never run out of mana. So I'd certainly say that with a little bit more balance in this game, it might up certain aspects of challenge for some game player types. I don't know, I'd like to see a lot less drops, a lot less treasure, a lot more when you find something feeling special. And every time you find even so much as a workable, sellable, ordinary sword that's only worth a little bit of coin, it'd be good if you genuinely wanted to load your weight balance up with it, going, oh, the extra money's worthwhile. You get a currency that feels valuable, not too much money in the game. I think that's better. But it's not easy to achieve. There's a certain amount of treasure in any given area. You can't stop players just respawning. The lighting, I don't know if the radius of lights has gone up, but there is a fidelity in the shadowing now that I feel that has just been added that just makes everything have a little bit more pop. There says no one's currently playing. I'm okay with that. 29 coin. What have I got? Otherwise, bugger all. I feel like I'm a level 15-ish character. I could run in here and give it a good solid go. Oh, I'm scared. I could have just sold my stuff over here. So I could have added a couple of patches in the ability to sell at this table, is my understanding. Alright, lighting is just awesome. Yeah, I had a fight a couple of days ago in a different dungeon, but the enemies had chased me back through so much of the dungeon back into the safe little camp at the start, and were still attacking me. And then when I proceeded to perish, they didn't piss back off and run back to their original location. So, yeah, I really like that. Had a nephew, I teed him up to play Demon Souls when it first came out on the console. He's, as a pre-teenager, he decided to give up console gaming and move into VR and PC gaming. So as he's become an older teenager, each year we've upgraded his computer, upgraded his graphics card, bit by bit, got him a pretty decent VR rig. And anyway, he'd come around to visit me as a stalwart PC gamer who doesn't use his PlayStation Plus subscription anymore, and he comes around and he plays Demon Souls, and he takes it to arguably the central hub or the home base, and this kid is so meta. Like you play a game like Nine Parchments, and you'll be playing for less than 10 seconds, and he'll jump off a cliff and then use a blink spell to get back over the land. And you just realise that this pre-teen's mind, he's a pretty smart kid, and he's just so quick at breaking game systems down and figuring out the cheats. And yeah, so when he's playing Demon Souls, he approaches the game as if it's every other video game, which certain game rules or certain aspects of the game world are just the way video games are. And he basically started attacking friendly characters in a central hub, and then had big bad guys, well, nice people, get kind of angry and then kind of turn on him. And don't get me wrong, the game was well written in that it made him, it gave him plenty of opportunities to back down and not annoy these guys to the point of no return. But yeah, he attacked him and got wiped out by someone. And then he got respawned, and that person just didn't cool down, just didn't de-aggress. Like, they did not know how to self-soothe. And I've never seen a kid that loves hardcore games just absolutely give up on the game so quick. Because after about 10 lives, like 10 times coming in and just being constantly destroyed by these super mega high level characters that are just impossible to fight, not designed to be done that way. And it was just a game mechanic that's the way it was. I mean, the original Deus Ex, you could kill everyone in the building pretty much and leave it so that you didn't have crucial staff members at your workplace needed for gameplay. But a lot of games just make certain characters unhurtable for just not having to deal tech supporting broken, unworkable save games, or dealing with angry customers. I like it when you've got a world that you can screw up. As long as you haven't got only one save file and can't. That's this game I did. But if anything, occasionally it just has up sort of replays where you do things differently on the next pass. That could be good. Keep that one. Okay, so I'm having a slowish time clearing out this area. Could like these snowballs. Oh, see, if I hadn't interrupted him then, he nearly got one out. There, it slows them down, so put a few volleys. These are the lowest level snowballs you can get. And they do bugger all damage. I think the thing is with these ones, you get, got a bit too close. First one that got close. Can I interrupt him? I can interrupt him. Yeah, so the level of snowball I'm at is, or ice bolt. I think they're 2 mana to cost. You get 3 bolts. If all 3 bolts land, I get 1 mana back. If I upgrade it, instead of doing 2 damage per bolt, I do 3 damage per bolt. But it costs 3 mana to cast rather than 2. The point of my story that I'm trying to say is that on the second, when I level up, it costs a little bit more, but I actually get 2 mana back rather than 1 mana back. And when you work it as a ratio of getting half your mana back or getting 66% of your mana back, a level up, so long as I land all 3 bolts, or learn the rhythm of the game and try to get my bolts to a land, it might be very mana cost effective or efficient to take an upgrade. Obviously I would do a bit more damage, things would die a bit quicker. So I don't know if my spells intellect is levelling up based on bolts landed, number of bolts cast. Number of bolts cast, I don't really want to level them up. Because I'm casting more as a low level bolt. That was a trick in Skyrim. Just put the worst weapon in your hand possible to get more swings out of it, like trying to get better at swinging, like a Greek sword. Okay, so I definitely clear the game out a lot slower single player. And that's the reviews I was reading was that is the game playable single player? And the answer is, well, absolutely yes, but you've got to be prepared to Dark Souls it a little bit. You've got to be prepared to, incrementally gain ground, sometimes power level a bit so that you can handle it. But the enemies scale in that the quality of them changes, the number of them I'm thinking changes. I've had some dungeon instances where I've come across like mini boss fights, like up a corridor and a half in a basic area where you've never experienced anything complex, and I'm 10 levels below or 5 levels below the dungeon's minimum requirement, and I'm like, wow, where did that powerful boss fight come from? Get him? Because he got aggroed. And so when he aggroed, I don't know if that little yellow area aggroes the enemies near them. I mean, I don't know. A lot of other game engines, just seeing that radius come out, that's kind of what that would mean. I like the way they jump under. Something around me is just sounding a little bit. And there is something about stereoscopic dust particles just look good. It's one of those just understated things that when you see it in 3D, you have a real sense of being there. Alright, what happened there underneath me? So yeah, my chance to freeze is quite little, but typically my volley of 3 blasts from each hand is 6 blasts, and I think that's enough that about 1 in 3 times I'll put a small freeze on someone. I'm only dealing with people coming at me one at a time. even with the lowest powered icebox in the game, up against half decent creatures, they're good enough. And to the point where moments like this, I kind of don't mind getting too involved. The fact that he can, when he's reeling back, push his mate back as well. Maybe I'll last him. Oh, if you get your hand stuck on that pole, mate. Oh shit, that's gonna hurt. That is simulated bounce slide. Bullshit, that is doing bounce sliding. Okay, if anybody can see, there's two stalactites, maybe bites, in front of me. And there's, okay, so we got a light source, and see how it's glowing, right? Now obviously, the fact that the side facing me of the smaller stalactite, I don't know, is lit up. It's warm in colour, and as a surface, it's not in a straight line with that light. So it's got a different light shining on it, and either the light is shining through that fence, which I don't think is likely, or the game has got simulated bounce lighting going. Now I can only guess it's pre-baked. It just feels like it builds up, and then your eyes have this full HDR adjust thing going on as well, of just like the original Far Cry game had on PC before monitors were HDR and whatnot. But what it was simulating in terms of high dynamic range was this concept that as your eyes moved into different zones, they'd take a moment to adjust, and then you'd see a different range of contrast. And there's just so many little subtle systems like that are in this game that make this game so much better than what it apparently is. Like, people say there's aspects of this game that are basic, and to me it's like a tour de force of techery. Fantastic. You can see this is a team that sit there and figure out if they've got a little bit of CPU grunt left, how to, pass, how to use it effectively with whatever else is going on. Oh! Came in with the big one. I looked up just in time to see it. I'm getting a lot of jump pickups. Those. My problem, what I find as a character, as a player character, when I'm spending a lot of time doing icebox to take these guys down, all like that. I get out of the habit of being able to wield a sword with them and go toe to toe. There is a real aspect of each time you go into an area, the game, like any good game from the 80s, it introduces a concept to you. At first in an area which is easy, where there's only maybe one enemy doing particular things to you, and then it, bit by bit ups the challenge by doing the same thing, but it gets more, or mixing it up in little ways. And so yeah, if when you first go up against a critter, you learn. You're kind of okay later in the level when everything's ramped up and getting a bit more difficult. So yeah, at this stage of this dungeon, coming in here and not learning the way to go toe to toe with these guys with their particular attack patterns, I'm actually putting myself at a disadvantage. So that bar's mostly full now, it is slowly coming down. Right, so on my screen, this shot just looks awesome. I can only guess, I've just got a immersive game. Thank you, Clive. Okay, so I could only guess on a small screen, arguably it's an OLED with the contrast range should be not dissimilar to what I'm seeing under this headset. But the subtleties of an entire area of just above black, I mean it's a fair bit above black, 10-15% above black, absolute black. But the subtleties of just being able to see into the shadows because of the sheer size of the shadows, that your eye can look into that area and it's looking away from everything that's bright, and therefore it can kind of adjust and see. Like you really are looking at, I guess it's the full field of view, arguably. Just feels epic. I don't know if everybody understands. The PSVR 2 has a field of view which might be a bit taller than some of the other headsets out there, but the amount of immersion that it therefore generates is something. Now, I don't know if I've got to get my mallet out and start bashing. Oh, the sense of light in the next zone coming through over there. I mean, some would argue that's just wasted grunt rendering, stuff like that, showing it to me. But for me, my brain is now mentally mapping out this dungeon, going, oh, okay, there's something over there, and blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, this here, you just want to bash that zone there on the belief that someone's tried to fill it in, but this type of rock doesn't look like the sort that would be filled in. And the devs seem to write a world where, without using dialogue, but just using the interactivity and the engagement with the world, it tells a story. And Demon Souls was the same. And I found it was one of the best, if I was going off my Dungeons & Dragons handbook, it was one of the best renditions of a Dungeons & Dragons game set that I've ever played. And I was getting my player handbooks out, looking up particular lookup tables in terms of what weapons and what damages and what resistances, and you know, you give a shit. This game is a give a shit game. It's fantastic. He looks like a friendly. No, where's the little goblin dude's different to... Hello, what are you hobbits? Oh my lord. You guys are the rabid versions of the same thing. That guy there looks like he's taken a head injury. You've all taken head injuries, have you? Okay, what happens if I do an aggressive action right in front of you? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. The deserters, I've had a group of goblins with strange coloured skin. It could be these guys. Right, here we go. Their speech isn't perfect, but I can just about understand them. That guy's taken a head injury. I reckon that speech could be perfect, man. If other people can hear him, he's doing all right. The goblins aren't attacking me. They try to talk to me, and I understand them, mostly. They say they were followers of a goblin shaman, but escaped his control. They offer to tell me the goblin shaman's weakness if I find their hidden supplies and bring them back. Reclaim the goblin's hidden supplies. Say it's in a wooden barrel inside 2 huts at the end of the cave. Okay, in a wooden barrel, inside 2 huts, end of cave. Done. Kind of want to help myself to the little chest over there. Shaman killed so many of our shmen. We live, but now transform. Okay. Did he zombify you guys a bit, did he? Yeah, look, screw it. I'm going to walk past them. I'm going to open up. Their life savings. What have we got? Purple or something. Blue. I'll do blue. Oh, well, it's 300 coins. Yeah, you can't close an open chest. It's the fun of setting up multiplayer where you can hurt someone. Like, Mrs. plays a lot of Medieval Dynasty, and they've added a co-op mode in the PC build as of just before December, and within 6 months the console version will get the same thing. We've got the game on PC and console, and sort of trying to figure out which platform are we going to play co-op on. I'm reading some of the notes online about saying, oh, can you hurt each other? And then there's just people in the threads just going, well, of course, players will figure out ways to do that. And it'll be something as simple as, right as your partner's about to drink from their water flask, like clicking poison on said item. Then they drink, and then they get over, you know, toxins get to too high a level, injury, whatever. But yeah, you know, we're opportunistic. Give us a challenge. We'll find a way. We'll find a way to put it to the test and make it so. Alrighty, so I'm taking my time just moseying back to the entranceway here, just doubling back over my zone, making sure that I've cleaned it out fairly well. I'm guessing end of the cave is going to be down there. Oh, yeah. pick up just about every object. Graphics are amazing. And the best thing is they're unique enough everywhere I go that I'm never having to really get my bearings. I've played a lot of games where it's easy to get lost, and it's just, you can't say bad dungeon design, just back to town, back to here. No, that's me casting that there, that drops there, so it's not in town for people to get here quickly. Ah, shit. Okay, so learn something new every day. Not that anybody's in the session, right? Okay, back to muting that. Look, I might wind this play session down. Arguably, done some stuff. I mean, I'm fairly safe just here. Play zone. I'll quit now before anyone comes in. Actually, I don't know how to stop hosting a game. These. I suppose I just do that. Alright, well, normally inventory management at the end of a session is really what one should be doing so they're ready to go in the next session. Obviously, I didn't do that previously. Poor people watching this session would arguably have two lots of inventory management on top of ranting and raving and standing around and all sorts of stuff. So, SP20V, that's our new build. It's fantastic. I'm a bit of a fan of it. I think we've come forward with this build a lot. It's well, only about 300 megabytes, but the actual size of the game install hasn't varied, meaning that the 300 megabytes would have been code changes. Code changes are the things that tighten up and just refine what we've already got. So that's sort of what we want, a touch or an update. So yeah, it's a good one. I'd say it's improved, unlike the last two patches, which in some regards sidestepped on some things and they changed things possibly to create more performance. I don't know if that was needed on this platform or what the reasons were, but it looks like just this patch feels like they've reverted to the best that they've had with each of the 3 or 4 patches. And they've gone, oh, we did this the best on this patch, we did this the best on this patch, and now they've sort of almost tightened all that together in a refined little patch and update. And it might just be little things like when you drop something towards the ground and it's on its way down, just being able to pick it up again. I feel like window for input to do that is widened a little bit, so little changes, quality of life changes, sorts of things that make a game go from being really, really good to being absolutely great. I feel this title was kind of already in the absolutely great camp right from the get-go, but look, there has been niggles. I think yesterday I was probably on my 4th or 5th character on the list of characters, and as a low-level character, level 0 character essentially, I'd run into a dungeon, first level dungeon of the game, and just come across stuff that was really hard. I might have mentioned this earlier in the video. So I don't know if there's been a rebalancing gone on, or if they've certainly fixed possibly the fact that your 2nd and 3rd save games should be treated uniquely, like that character gets to explore the world and the enemies level up based on the attributes of that character, not a character from a game that you're playing some other day. That you don't have any of the magic items from that character's play to help you with your current play, and you're a low-level character, you don't want to go up against high-level stuff. Not an issue though. It's multiplayer. You can get friends in to help you. You know, how many people back in Diablo days would have a housemate walk through the wrong door, or a friend, walk through the wrong door, wind up on a level or a dungeon that was too hard. The plan of hopefully finding some steps up, just to get really good loot on a level fair way down, but without having to work their way through all the levels. You take your shortcuts every 5 levels, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you jump in on level 10 thinking that your character's going to be able to do it. But now you're in nightmare mode. Level 10's really difficult. Even clearing out level 8 of the dungeon's really difficult. You don't know this when you first get down to level 10 and you get wiped out in 2 seconds flat. And then your housemates or friends have to keep coming in, and everybody's going to use their B equipment and their C equipment as everyone's just rushing in, trying to pick up your bits of equipment that are on the ground, and or hoping to kill yet one more of the rush that are coming at you. I've had days, first Diablo back in the 90s, where a couple of housemates would just sit there hours, try to reclaim one housemate's error, a split-second error where his character's gone down and all his stuff's on the ground. So one of the things I haven't checked with this was that when you had past and your sword was in the ground, you'd pick it up. Whatever armour you were wearing would just get tossed and thrown on the ground. And so that was one of those little quality of life changes that needs to be done, right? So Urbanwolf are doing it. I mean, I've got a couple of A4 pages of little niggly things that I would say, from a refinement point of view, put these in, you get a perfect title. 10 years from now, this title remains perfect. And Urbanwolf as a team seem to be the people that really listen to the input from the player base and really are implementing the changes and the requests that are made. And the proof of the pudding was in that second patch. The 3/4 biggest requests from the general public were incorporated, even if the development lead himself didn't necessarily believe or want them. He figured out a compromise where everybody could be happy and then implemented it. So there's a lot of stuff happening on their side. They are keeping the vision tight, and this is software that I've been waiting decades plus for. It's here. I'm very happy. That's why you see me doing these videos. Legendary Tales out now.